everybody. This is Welcome Back to America. I am DB Frick. This is Millie Micheals. Today, we're doing everything paranormal, scary, hauntings. I'm pretty sure the studio's haunted. I'm pretty sure I'm haunted. I think my house is haunted. We'll talk a little bit about that. Millie?
Yes.
What do we have going on in the world of haunted news?
Well, as always, in England, there is a young family of 4 that has been living in terrifying times for 4 years, hearing these footsteps and these screams coming through the baby monitor while the children are sleeping. And finally, there was a reason to everybody to believe that it's happening. She took a picture of her newly renovated kitchen, and she saw the vision of this man and what I think is Smokey the Bear on her wall.
Yeah, it does kind of look like a man with Smokey the Bear, like hanging out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think Smokey the Bear is probably mad at us because of all that forest going down in California. That's really terrible. 750,000 acres.
It's very terrible, Dan.
Terrible and terrifying. Terrible and terrifying.
Yes,
it's
beyond.
terrifying. What else do we have coming up in scary news?
In Michigan, there was a 20-year-old woman that unfortunately, she needed to have the paramedics, and they had to pronounce her dead after 30 minutes of trying to resuscitate her with the CPR. They sent her over to the funeral home, and after 2 hours, the worker there unzipped it, and frightened, she was breathing right there. And if that was me, that's like I would be running and leaving the funeral home. Terrible.
Yeah, that would be horrifying. I would be somewhat scared
Very
if a
creepy.
body bag started moving at me. I would run, and I'd feel bad because in the end I would really understand that's probably a real person alive and not a zombie.
Right, and that's why I wouldn't be working there.
Zombies aren't real.
They're real.
Yet.
Yeah.
When my plan comes to fruition. Only then.
Everybody's working on that. Yeah. In Louisiana, there is a homeowner who is struggling to give away a 4-bedroom house because an ex-renter is telling people that the house is haunted like Amityville Horror.
I would think that would up the price. I would pay more for a house that's haunted.
Yeah, well, this is really only a 4'9" grandma, Nana, and she stirs the pots in the kitchen. Really? Is that such a big deal?
No.
I'll take the house.
What kind of ghost is that, though? Someone that just helps you with your cooking? You know, it's an indentured servant, really. That'd be great to have ghosts like that.
You wouldn't need a crock pot.
I would
She'll
love
be
it.
stirring.
Have you ever been haunted? Have you ever seen a ghost or anything?
I have. I worked in a comedy club on Long Island, and they have a little alley that was lit with one bulb between the bar and the kitchen. And I was getting ice, and I had a warm breeze whisper, and it was a male, and it said, "Mary." And because I worked in a comedy club, nobody believed me. Everybody made fun of me. But that was my experience, for sure, with a ghost.
I would have been to the ghost like, I'm not Mary. And they'd be like, oh, I'm sorry. And then leave and then find the Mary that they were looking for that night.
Yeah.
That's what I would
probably do. Why are they always
do.
Mary? Why is that?
I don't know. We have a big show, though, tonight.
Yes.
We have some people on that I know from UCLA, Chris Vanderhorst and Bryan Ward, both filmmakers who specialize in horror films.
Wow.
I've known them for 10+ years, both very funny. We also are doing some improv. We got Millie and Chris Griggs, and we also have Elke, Reid, and me. We played out some improv. We also have Celeste Jennings coming on, and she has a podcast.
Do you see the orbs?
Strip. Oh my God!
We definitely haunted. Look at that.
Oh my God! What are those?
Look at.
Those are ghosts.
Oh, it popped. That means it must have found the light.
I am totally out of here.
Oh! That is crazy. Come to me. Oh, that must be a family. There's like 4 orbs together. Very good. Okay, well, the orbs are all gone, DB, if you want to come back.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Welcome Back to America. I'm DB Frick, and I have a very, very special guest here tonight. She is a foremost expert on paranormal activity. She is very impressive background. I want to introduce Dana from the Poltergeist movies, the sister of Carol Ann. Dana, thank you for coming to the show tonight. As you know, my house is haunted. And I was really hoping, since you are an expert in paranormal activity, maybe you could give me some advice on maybe what I could do to get the ghost out of my house.
Most definitely, most definitely. And I just want to start by letting you know that while I do understand I could feel the evil presence over there, I do have to be in the Hamptons to meet with the Baldwins. I'm sorry, it's the Baldwins, you know. So, I mean, even though the ghost is terrible over there, I can feel it. But you'll be fine.
I understand. So, your time is precious.
Precious time. You know, we only have so much time on this earth, as we both know. So
we agree.
So now with your haunting, I can sense that it's just a single spirit. So what I found helpful in the past is to annoy the ghost out. What you're going to want to do, you're going to want to play some mumble rap. I believe Tekashi 6ix9ine is the most annoying, but if you cannot get your hands on a record by him, any Justin Bieber song will do. Okay?
So you want me to just annoy the ghost? Okay,
correct. It works with the living, so it works with the dead. You understand? If that fails, what you could do is get a Ouija board out, and for a small fee, I know a ghost who I can ask to come chase your ghost out. But we do run the risk of that ghost getting comfortable and staying with the ghost. And that's just a risk you'd have to take.
Okay, so there's a possibility I'll get more ghosts, but maybe the ghosts will leave.
Correct, but those ghosts will entertain each other, and you would find much less disturbance to the living yourself. You just would want to avoid attics and basements.
Okay, so annoy the ghost out. Interesting, yes. Really interesting angle.
Yes, that's it.
Is there anything else we can do, maybe?
I mean, why don't, just to get a feel, an idea, let me give you a quick reading. Again, small fee, I'll bill you later. Okay. And we'll just get an idea of why maybe you're being haunted. How's that sound?
Okay, that sounds great. Yeah, a tarot card reading sounds great.
Yes. So your first card, So it says you're going to meet an early demise. Maybe that may be why the ghosts are targeting you. They want to bring you over. Now,
wait. I'm going to reach an early demise. Are those just,
yes.
Is that just a deck of playing cards?
How dare you? No. These are my special tarot cards. They look like playing cards, but they are not. Now, we see this card here says that you're not terribly funny. I don't know if it has seen your stuff or whatever. Wow. You must have been haunted for a while for it to know. Does that ring?
So the tarot just read that I'm not funny.
I mean, it is the ghost, so it may have just followed you from places from mic to mic and just seen your bits. I don't know. Again, I'm not a psychic. I just talk to the ghosts, the spirits. Oh no, this one.
Hi, this is Welcome Back to America. I am DB Frick, and I am here with two filmmakers who I've known for a very long time. Met them out in LA way back, working at UCLA. One of them is Chris Vanderhorst, who's currently still living in LA. He's over here, still making movies, and he works a lot out there. And we got Bryan Ward, who's in North Carolina, and
hey, how's it going?
He's working on some movies too. I'm not sure if he's in Charlotte or if he's in where he's from, but he's out.
I'm where I'm from now.
So, guys, thanks for coming down.
Yeah, sure.
Really appreciate it, taking time out of your day.
Yeah.
I sort of want to get into it.
I love how you said thanks for coming down when literally we just walked from like our living room to wherever we are now. So that's awesome.
In my bedroom, man.
I did admit he's doing it from his bedroom. This is from my bedroom too. This isn't a brick wall. That's
dude, is
really
your logo
Elvis.
backwards?
No, I can read it just fine. Welcome back to America. Looks fine to me. So I wanted to start with what brought you guys into film. Chris, what made you want to do film? And what was the first film you did?
Growing up, my dad, he let us watch anything. Like, no matter what it was rated, we were allowed to watch anything if we watched it with him. So I remember watching, like, the first Halloween. We watched, like, National Lampoon's Vacation. And, like, I just love watching films. And as I got older, I would just watch films over and over, and I just loved it. And after I graduated high school, I was like, I have to make these. Like, I have to. There's no other route for me. This is what I want to do. So I was teaching in North Carolina, and then me and my best friend, Jannard, we, like, had a phone call, and we were like, let's move to California. And 2 weeks later, we were on a plane to California.
I love that. I love that quick movement, that making a quick decision about life.
Yeah.
And you've been out there ever since.
You'll think it, you'll overthink it, and you won't do it. So you just got to
no. If you have to think about something, if you have to think too much about something, you probably shouldn't do it.
Right.
Brian, what about you? What first got you into film?
So I grew up watching a bunch of movies, especially horror movies as a kid, like a lot of slashers. And whenever I was a little kid, my parents knew I loved Freddy Krueger. So they got me the making of Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4 on VHS and watched that. And that just sold my love of filmmaking straight from being a little kid. And then
I love it.
Chris actually invited me to come be his roommate in California, and I lived out there for 5 years in Hollywood. We roomed for, what, about 3, Chris?
Yeah, I think so, 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
I'm back in North Carolina now, still doing it.
Where in North Carolina are you right now, Brian?
Well, right now I'm in Mount Olive, North Carolina, which is about halfway between the coast and Raleigh, North Carolina. Yesterday I was in Charlotte, which is, pickle capital of Mount Olive.
Yeah. It's funny to call it Mount Olive when it's pickle. But what are some of your favorite movies, Brian?
Let's see. It's tough for me to say unless I break it down by genre. But like I just said, I'm a big fan of Nightmare on Elm Street. I obviously like Sleepaway Camp since I'm doing a fan film. I'm really big into sci-fi movies like 2001: A Space Odyssey or Alien. I'm big into movies like The Godfather or pretty much any of the Scorsese films, mainly Raging Bull, though. And I love spaghetti westerns, especially the Leone ones, and I love the Akira Kurosawa samurai films a whole lot.
Okay, those are some of, you mentioned some of my favorites. I'm a big fan of Godfather films, and even I'm not a big fan of horror films. I never have been, but I did love Freddy Krueger as a kid. I watched all of those. So
I think everybody did.
I think I definitely understand that love. What about you, Chris? What are some of your favorite films?
I really love The Shining, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I can watch literally every day. Apocalypse Now, I really love. National Lampoon's Vacation, The Burbs. I love that. The Burbs is great.
The Burbs is my favorite comedy.
It's Vacation and The Burbs are my two go-to for comedies.
You said that one of your favorite films is The Shining.
Yes.
Now, did you see Dr. Sleep?
Yes.
Oh, you seem so disappointed. Very disappointed. I figured it probably would be.
It didn't need to happen. It was forced, and then the third act is all pretty much just a remake of The Shining.
Yes, I thought that was weird and sort of weak.
Very, very unnecessary.
Yeah.
So.
That's kind of how I felt too. What are you guys? What are you working on right now? I know that quarantine has a lot of people slowing down, but I imagine you've got some things in your pocket.
Yeah. Go ahead, Brian. Brian, you go first.
Oh, I was going to let you go first. Sorry.
Okay. Sure. Right now, I have a short film that is ready to go. We had to stop literally like a couple weeks before we were ready to roll because of COVID-19. So once it's safe, we're gonna shoot that. It's called Retrograde. It's a sci-fi time travel love story situation. And then I'm about 2 scenes away from finishing a pilot that I'm writing. It's a drama. It's about a small town that becomes very paranoid because they can't solve a string of murders, and they start turning on each other, trying to, pointing the blame at who did it and whatnot. And then I'm going to wrap the year up with trying to shoot an anthology feature film.
Okay. Sounds good. How about you, Brian? What do you got going on?
So I've been working on this movie called Freedom of North Carolina. It's called Either Or. And I think the website for that is freedomofnc.info. And we've been working on that, and we had various problems, like from recasting to COVID. So we're essentially reshooting the thing from scratch with a way better camera than what we originally started on. And having to shoot it really, really slow, being, COVID-19. So maybe one day out of the week. And I'm also directing a fan film of Sleepaway Camp. And in October, I'm supposed to be acting in a slasher film, which is going to be an ultra low budget one called Backwoods Bubba, which is going to be super campy, super ridiculous, but fun.
I love it.
And
Sounds like a lot of great
that's about
work.
it right now.
It's funny, we spoke a lot about Freddy Krueger today. I think all three of us. I would love to do a reboot of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes.
I have an idea I think would fit perfectly. So I'm very tempted to kind of like shoot. Did you guys see the trailer? This guy made a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air trailer for a movie version, and it's amazing. So I want to do like a trailer for a new Nightmare on Elm Street reboot to try to get the attention of Wes Craven, the state, so I can have, put my bid in to try to be in charge of the reboot. So you never know.
Wow, that is a lofty goal. I appreciate that. I would definitely check it out.
Yeah.
Where do you see film going in the next few years?
Well, I think the biggest issue right now is where are we going to watch films, because the cinemas are taking a beating because of COVID-19, and I think the brick and mortar cinema versus streaming and versus video on demand, we need to see who's going to come out victorious. I'm always going to go to the cinema.
Yeah.
But if we don't have enough people who think like me and they want to sit on the couch and watch a brand new movie, it could hurt the cinema. I'm not trying to watch Tenet on my couch. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to watch, a Scorsese film on my couch. I can't do it.
Right.
Well, I want an indoor theater so I can have the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
I mean, once I get it.
All right.
Well, where do you think film is going to go, Brian? What do you think people are going to do, at least for the next couple of years?
I agree with what Chris was saying about, there's going to be the question about where it's going to be watched at. But also, I want to mention that I think that with all these big productions, pushing back a lot of their movies, this might potentially open more doors for indie filmmakers right now.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. That's just a big thought I've had.
I'm shooting my next film in VHS.
Yeah, I have a similar sentiment about Broadway. I think that Broadway will have a lot of one-woman shows,
Right.
over the next few years. They won't be like the ensemble and tour shows will be like very small casts and stuff.
Right.
I really appreciate both of you guys coming down today on the show. And I look forward to working with you guys again and seeing you guys again. And Chris and Brian, where can people go see your stuff online? Where can they go?
We're trying to start at the same time. You go first, Chris.
Well, if you just Google my name, Chris Vanderhorst, you'll because I'm kind of all over the place. I did a web series called Scotch Tape Productions, and we have our YouTube channel there. And then my short films are on my Vimeo, but they're also like on websites like Film Shortage. So whenever they feature my short films, they're on their website. So the easiest way is just to Google my name, Chris Vanderhorst, and you'll see links taking you everywhere.
Great. There aren't a lot of Chris Vanderhorsts around.
No, yeah. So I got lucky.
Googling my name might help too. Bryan, Matthew, Ward. You got to do all three, because if you do just Bryan Ward, you're not going to get me. But it's Bryan with a Y. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for coming down today, guys. Coming down.
Down.
I appreciate seeing you. And say again?
I didn't move at all. I'm like where I was.
I had to schlep all the way to the garage, so long day.
Oh, you're in a garage? I assumed you were just murdering someone. Like,
That's true. That too. The day is early.
The day is early. Thanks a lot, guys. Love you both.
Sure.
See you soon.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having me.
Writing a book is the adventure of a lifetime. Red Penguin Books take pride in giving our authors a publishing experience that is stress-free and celebratory all the way. Some of our authors first approach us with no more than an idea for a book that's ready to sprout. Others submit completed manuscripts. Whether you're at either end or anywhere in between, our goal is to get you published. At Red Penguin Books, we offer options and opportunities that are unique in the world of publishing, and all of them are designed to keep you, the author we so deeply respect, in the driver's seat, unlike other publishing houses. So, if you want to write a book and are looking for a publisher, we've got you covered. Red Penguin Books deal in publishing services, book development, and ghostwriting for digital, print, and audiobook. Call us at 516-448-4993 or visit our website www.redpenguinbooks.com.
Hey everybody, this is DB Frick, and this is Welcome Back to America. Thanks for joining us today. I have a little piece that I want to do, and we're going to play out some improv with some of the best improvisers around. Firstly, I got Chris Griggs, who is an actor, a writer, a stand-up comedian. He's a teacher. He's done so much. Turn on the television, and you'll see his face. Elke, we have Elke Reid. I did it wrong again.
Just keep going.
No. Ladies and gentlemen, I am DB Frick. This is Welcome Back to America. Thank you for joining us. We're playing out some improv with you guys today. I've got an incredible team of some of the most well-respected improvisers around. Firstly, Chris Griggs, actor, writer, comedian, teacher. He's all over the place. We have Elke Reid, who is also, she's in New York City. Are you in New York City right now?
Not currently.
Not currently. Yes. Very funny comedian. Did some improv with her over the years at the Pit also. And of course, we have my co-host with the news, Millie Micheals, who's joining us today. Firstly, I had asked everyone to bring a prop, and we were going to do a little improv with props and make this into something else. So let's see what everyone. We got a tea kettle, got well, all right, and a little fan.
Is that what?
Yeah. Well, is that what it is? An angel here. So what do you got there, Chris?
I brought a present for Elke. It's something to demonstrate my love for you. Here it is.
Oh my goodness! 100 pieces of Nerds candy. I have such a sweet tooth. Oh man, but they're loose. Okay.
Just like my teeth.
I'll put the rest on there. You said just like your what?
Just like my teeth. My
Okay.
teeth are loose too, and I'm a nerd. That's
I
why
get it. You're giving me a piece of you. You're giving me a piece of you. I get it.
Yeah.
But you know, that aside, I love the gift. But I had something for Millie. On my recent travels, I picked up something at the gift shop at the airport. I was like, you know what? This got Millie written all over it. Bam!
I love it.
Here you go.
Thank you. Oh, it's a mini portable swimming pool. That airport always has so many cool things, don't they? Just love it.
Yes.
So now I can swim when I'm waiting.
I know how you to swim.
And Dan,
Yeah.
this is what I brought you.
Oh, it looks like something that can put you in a figure 4 leg lock.
Do you like it?
Yeah, no, I love it. I've wanted to be able to put people in figure 4 leg locks for a long time right now. So I really appreciate that gift.
Oh, you're
Very
welcome.
thoughtful of you, as usual. I'll add it to all those other awesome gifts you got. Actually, and I got something for you, Chris. I got this right here.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
that's for
I've
you.
been wanting to get that book about how to justify bad decisions. Oh my goodness. I love it. I'm going to read it page to page and can't get enough of this sweet book so that I can make some bad choices.
That's awesome, guys. Thanks for that opening. We're going to get right into our next game, which is verbatim, where each one of us will extemporaneously say a 30-second monologue about anything. So, Elke, could you please give us a location or subject? Give us a subject.
A subject, automobiles.
Automobiles. Okay.
Automobiles.
So, Chris, you're going to start us off. We'll end with me. Yeah, automobiles. What do you have to say about automobiles? I hear you have a lot to say about automobiles, Chris Griggs.
I have a lot to say about automobiles, and weirdly, it's going to kind of juxtapose to something we were talking about before the show started, where I was from a small town in the South, and they wouldn't give me a car when I was 15, when I should have been able to one. But we had a tractor, and so the tractor was my automobile, and I drove the tractor to the market, the grocery store around, which was also actually the drugstore at the time. It was a little Piggly Wiggly. And I would drive the tractor back and forth. And that's why I never had sex until I was later in life.
30 seconds. That's awesome. What do you have to say about that, Elke?
I'm doing the same thing. Right?
Yeah, you have to tell the same story.
Okay, because you're making it conversational. All right. So I have something interesting. It goes back to what we were speaking about earlier about to link to the automobiles. I come from a small town. I'm a hick. And I remember my first car was a tractor. It was like my first automobile was a tractor, and that was my first car really. And I used to drive it around town. I drove it down to the liquor store, the Piggly Wiggly. It's called the drugstore, and that's why I was a virgin for so long. Yeah.
30 seconds. Awesome.
Yeah.
You have a similar story, Millie.
When I was 15, I really wanted a bicycle, but I lived on a farm, and I was given a tractor. And I mean, if I needed to go anywhere, like to go to the pharmacy or Piggly Wiggly, I would have to take this tractor there, which I'd rather take my bicycle, but I couldn't. And I would purchase things for other people and just kind of throw it out of the tractor as I passed them, and they loved that. And the only reason why that it stopped me from having sex was because there was that big, gear thing was always in the way whenever we tried, and then
30 seconds.
Forget it.
That was awesome. I have a similar story. I was a hick from out west, and I went to the Piggly Wiggly with the tractor, and that tractor broke down, and as it broke down, I fell off of it, and I decided in that moment I was going to pretend I broke my legs, and my legs were broken as I'm on the ground, and I decided to do this so that I would never, ever have to work again. So I pretended for several years after that my legs were broken, even though they weren't. The irony of that is the day I decided to stop that, my legs actually were broken by a piano that fell out of a building. And that is verbatim. Yeah, that's... Like I said, my memory has always been terrible for games of that nature where I'm supposed to remember exactly everything someone said. It's like going back to school for me, and it's like just anxiety-riddled. That's why I did it to myself. I want to feel that anxiety today. That was awesome, guys. I really appreciate that you did that. Now we're going to play another little game called Questions. Now I'm going to get Chris and Elke to do this one. You're on mute now, Elke, just so you know. You've been turned. Okay. I'm going to get Chris and Elke to play out questions, and you two, your relationship is a priest and a nun, and there's not enough money to keep the church going. So you're talking about closing the church, and you've got to do it with all questions. And if one of you doesn't, if one of them screws up, Millie, you got to jump in there. And then
But if they don't ask a question, that's
right. If they screw up, you got to jump in there. And then once one of you got. So we're going to do the few rounds of that. And all right. So Chris and Elke, take it away.
Why does God torture us so?
Do you not know who God is?
Why would I know who God is?
You read.
What did you just say?
Are you questioning me?
Why would one question you?
Who do you think I am?
Who are any of us, really?
Why do you always ask these stupid ass questions?
Why would someone say ass in a holy church of God?
Again, do you know who I am?
Why we don't have any money in this church? Who are you? Who am I? Why am I asking myself so many questions?
Do you have change for the meter?
Would change really make a difference?
Are we going to go through this again?
Yes.
And okay, that's great. So Millie, you jump in there as the priest, assuming that Chris was the priest.
I'm the priest?
You're the priest now. Yeah, you got to continue that scene.
Okay. With Elke?
Yes.
Did you just get here?
I can't remember.
Okay, and that's great. That's great. That's one of the things that makes this game great is messing up. So now it's Elke and me. How's everyone doing in the convent?
Why are you asking me?
Because of the storm. Oh, damn it. And we'll do another round.
Oh, we do another round.
Sure.
All right, starting with me again.
What would one be doing in the convent, I wonder?
Are you wearing those blue suede shoes again?
Am I?
Didn't I tell you not to?
Didn't they tell Elvis not to?
Why you got to bring up old people again?
Why do you hate old people?
Why do I not like old people? That's the real.
Why do you not like old people? Is that the reason?
Is your mouth dry?
Yes.
That's great. Yeah. It has to end somewhere, I guess. it could go on and on for days. I guess there's probably a world record for this game where they like played 48 hours of just questions. But that will, I think that's enough questions for today. You guys killed it. Yeah, you've obviously done this quite a bit. So I think what we're going to do now in our last couple of minutes is a little thing called 3-word scene, which is similar to what we just played, but we're going to do a whole scene, and each one of us will play in this. I'll go first, Chris, Elke, Millie, and we'll go in that order, if that works for you. So give me a relationship. Somebody throw a relationship out there.
Teacher and student?
Teacher and student. Fantastic. We've all been both. So we're going to do a 3-word scene based on that. I will start. My grades suck.
You are stupid.
I'm not stupid.
I'm not stupid.
Don't repeat me.
You are dumb.
I'm not dumb.
Well, I'm not dumb.
You are dumb.
I'm the teacher.
I'm also teacher.
We're all teachers.
that syntax was off. So yeah, you go, Elke.
I am here.
Where are you?
I just said so.
What is up?
Nothing much, skidoo.
Did you study?
Of course not.
And why not?
Didn't want to.
Not good.
Don't care.
You are boring.
Am I now?
Yes, you are.
Well, I'll be.
Do your homework.
Maybe, maybe not.
Aren't you special?
Special am I?
Guys, that's great. You did it right. You did it better than I can.
Okay.
That was really funny. I really appreciate all 3 of you coming out today and doing this little experiment that I'm trying on Welcome Back to America. I am a big fan of improv, and it was really nice to have all of you, Chris, Elke, Millie. It was a great time. I hope we get to do this again together soon, and I'll see you all. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
We'll be back with Welcome Back to America right after this.
Me llaman Dan Pablo y hace más de 20 años me enamoré de una colombiana. Viajé a su país y conocí un estilo de café muy distinto, muy especial. Ahora tostamos cafés excelentes, con alturas y microclimas diferentes, resultado en una taza muy compleja y muy rica. Un sabor nuevo en el mundo. Fue un éxito. And I even got to keep the girl.
Hey, everybody. I'm DB Frick. This is Welcome Back to America. Thanks for tuning in tonight. I have a very funny woman with me tonight, a very funny person. Why do I have to specify it's a woman? It's a person. This is a very funny person. She has a show at the comic strip for several years, or a couple of years, doing every week interviewing comedians and entertainers and people of all sorts all over that show. I actually got to be on about a year ago or so. Great environment. Love the, it's just like a show in the middle of a comedy club while shows are going on. So it's kind of an incredible encapsulation of funny. So ladies and gentlemen, Celeste Jennings here.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Yeah, definitely. Or would you like all three names? I feel like,
so people, it doesn't matter. Like, it's not, I think my husband just wants to make sure that the Jennings is part of it.
Okay, long as you're...
Yeah.
If you were to write a book, what would it say? How would your name be? I feel like people with three names will sometimes go with initials, like I go with.
I like my Twitter is like CJ squared because it's CJJ.
Okay, right.
I think it would be, I think it would be C. Joseph Jennings. But then everyone will think it's a guy that's writing it. Like, who's the C. Joseph Jennings?
Huh. Well, I like the name. It's a very classy name. I think because you have three names, that means you have to assassinate someone. Isn't that true? Like,
or have enough money to do that.
Or have enough money to do that.
I see where I see what you did there.
What did I do? I don't even know what I did.
Three names. Oh, I thought you. Oh, you know how some people think certain people with three names have assassinated a lot of people.
Yeah, like John Wilkes Booth, John Hinckley Jr., William. I forgot all their names right now. I don't keep.
I thought you were saying Hillary Rodham Clinton. That's what a lot of people would say when they say, "Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding."
Yeah, no, I would not. I'm not a big fan of Hillary, but I also don't see.
I don't think she's done any of that stuff either. But
no, I don't see that either. But that's just stupid. People believe like we live on a flat earth at this point. People actually that's growing. QAnon, it's growing. People actually believe it. They're talking about how like Tom Hanks is staying in Greece because they deal with pedophilia differently.
Yes.
It's just we live in a strange world.
I had to argue with my brother about the moon landing. That's where we're at. I'm like, we grew up in the same house and went to the same schools.
What would be the purpose? What would be the purpose? And when something like that, it takes so many people to lie. It takes
thousands.
Thousands. I think it would take even more. I mean, I don't know. I'm just guessing at a number. But yeah, this just like Corona. People who think Corona is a hoax. It's like you realize that would mean that every hospital and every town and every city in every country would have to all have gotten together and chatted about this and been like, okay, yeah. It's almost like Dana Carvey did a joke about everyone like there being a conspiracy against OJ and how many people it would take to like have this conspiracy. And he went through like all these people that were dealt in the system going through that whole murder. And it was one of the funniest jokes. Anyway, we could talk about that stuff. I want to get to about you because we're supposed to talk about you. These interviews about the people that we talk to, not ourselves. That's what I'm told going through journalism classes.
I don't know.
For the people that don't know, Celeste is a comedian. She's been all over. She does a lot of shows in New York City. That's where I first met you at a Todd Morrissey show.
The godfather of the underground comedy scene.
The godfather. He really is. Like he's run that show for like 45 years now.
And it's like, everywhere. Every other week it's a different place. Like it'll go for years and then it'll be another place. He never misses a week.
It's like Nathan Detroit's rolling crap game in Guys and Dolls. That's how I've always compared.
I got your show right here.
Yeah, it's that's great. What got you into stand-up? What was it that made you first get on that stage?
Well, you know what? I, as a kid, always done like musical theater. And maybe because I was like the only black girl in this all-white school, I was always cast as like the comedic roles or like the male. But like I remember we did a Miss Feltenstein's production of Pete's Dragon in the 3rd grade, and I was Lampy the drunk, who was played by Mickey Rooney in the movie.
Yeah.
And then in 4th grade, I was in Miss Thompson's production of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and I was Willy Wonka, like really chocolate me. And then 5th grade, we did the Mikado, and I had to wear like we did like kabuki theater.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
you did the Mikado in 5th grade. That's
I grew up in Larchmont. That's the thing. I forgot to add that. Yeah, I mean it's like Three Little Maids from School Lobby. Like I played Coco the Executioner, and I was really upset because I wanted to be like Liat, and he was like, no. Coco was funny and smart, and it's the lead. But I had to wear the white kabuki paint face, and that was torturous for me. Like the black kid with the white paint, and it was like, oh, Celeste, now you're white.
Yeah,
and then in 6th grade, I was in, again, Miss Feltenstein, I had her for 3rd and 6th grade. I was in a production of South Pacific, and I played Bloody Mary. So I was always pushed to be funny. I think I come from like a very funny family. Like my grandmother was very funny, but she was like dry, obnoxious funny. And my mom is like kind of just sort of like, my husband describes her as the mother and Everyone Loves Raymond kind of funny, sort of like a little bit self-absorbed. And anyway, so I think that's it. But the first time I did stand-up, I was taking a year off in between undergrad and law school, and I was working at this radio station, and we used to do these comedy shows at this place in Fulton, New York, at some hotel, and it was a Lock and Key Lounge, and comics from all over. And I was thrusted on the stage to host, and I hosted some stuff in college, but never really wrote or did comedy until like late 90s in New York.
Late 90s. Well, that's a long time ago. That's probably around, I was doing a show in Manhattan in like 97. I had a regular show at a Mexican joint that we did every week. And most of the comedians that we had on now produce shows like for NBC and ABC. Everybody that we had on that show, but the group that created the show, like everybody else. Now you mentioned something interesting. We have a very interesting thing in common that's sort of the opposite. I grew up and I went to school. I was the only white kid in the school that I went to until 8th grade. I didn't see really white kids in school until high school, and then college was all Asian people at Adelphi. But did you find that difficult? Was that a difficult experience being the only black person in the school?
Well, I wasn't like, I mean, there were like 4 of us, to be fair. And at one point, my brother and I were in school together, so it was like 6. But I think that it's sort of like, one of the things that you learn but growing up when you're other, I also went to school in upstate New York. And so to put this in perspective, class is very important in how people of certain classes deal with race, right? And I felt like when you're upstate New York, it's much more depressed. It's much more like the Midwest. It's much more conservative. Their views on race is, their notion of white privilege is like, well, you know, I'm broke. I don't have a job. What do you talk about privilege? You grow up in Larchmont, you see that for what it is. Like there are kids I know I have a friend of mine who's so fucking wealthy. He just turned 50. He's never written a resume in his life. He's never had a job. You know what I mean? He's never had to do anything, had no purpose, but he gets by because he's won the life lottery, as someone once said. It's just because he's, you know, he just happened to be born into a family of and I saw that all over. So I'm not I'm not impressed or mystified by rich white people because I know who they are. Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah, no, okay. Interesting take on it. You know, I never felt like it was never really different for me. Like they were great friends. Like I still they always used to come over and we had like most of my parties were kids from school.
Right.
And they were like, you know, there was like one white kid from around the block, but it's not like, it was never bullied or anything.
Right. Oh no, it definitely was. Yeah.
Never
Absolutely.
Yeah. Are you reading anything right now? Have you finished up reading?
I just bought a anthology of Ray Bradbury stories. I love his short stories. That's what I'm reading. I keep trying to get myself to buy some books that people are like really reading, and I I've been reading a lot of magazines, a lot of Atlantic articles. I'm trying to find sort of a neutral space because it's just noise to me on both ends.
Sure.
But I love Ray Bradbury, and so I think I'm just gonna like sleep in his books, short stories for a while, because I feel like we're living everyone's story.
Oh yeah, well, no, we are living that 1984 George Orwell sort of thing. Even if you look back at like what's that, Douglas Adams, A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So I can't look at fish without thinking, you guys know something we don't you?
Right.
So that's great. Who are some of your inspirations? Who inspires you comedically and in your life?
Oh my God, who inspires me comedically? Holy shit, that's a good question. Oh my God, I don't even know. Growing up was definitely Whoopi Goldberg, and I remember being like, enamored with everything she was. She was the first Black person that was famous that actually looked like me, and not just being Black, but like dark skin, natural hair, kind of like not quote unquote conventionally attractive. And I used to get compared to all the time. And I remember seeing on VHS her HBO special, Whoopi Live.
The one that was a Broadway show in like 85, something like that?
Yeah. And I was like, holy fuck, this woman is just amazing. And then I was fortunate enough to go to see her live, doing it like the 20th anniversary. And I was like, she was amazing. But, I look back doing comedy, I realized she's more like a comedic actress in some ways. Like she did stand up, but really her characters were she was really acting. She was great. Like the old raisin character and
She is an Oscar winner. She did get nominated. She must have gotten nominated for The Color Purple too. I
think she was nominated, but she did not get it. She won it for Ghost.
Yeah,
and that was Best Supporting Actress.
Yeah.
That was what I call a makeup Oscar.
Makeup for The Color Purple?
Yeah. They do that to people.
Yeah, no. The Best Supporting Oscar often is someone who gets it, like, never works again.
She doesn't have to do shit.
No, she doesn't have to do anything. You're right. But she does do The View.
Yeah.
She did some really bad movies, though. There were like a couple in the end, not in the end, but around like the late 90s, early 2000s. They're like Eddie. Eddie was particularly like...
That was the one, but he was the Knicks manager?
Yeah. Yes. Like
I mean, look, listen, every comedian or comedic actor has to... if you don't do like at least 2 or 3 shitty movies, then are you really like a success? Like everyone needs their Pluto Nash, right?
Yes.
And I was actually watching it the other day, and I was like, "Fucking John Cleese was in that. Why was everyone ripping on?" Like it wasn't horrible, but it was,
Victor Venato was in that. Victor Venato, that was like one of his first roles. He had a really big part in that and worked with Eddie for weeks. And I remember seeing that movie. There was one showing on Long Island at noon on a Tuesday, and I was the only person in the theater. So I was the only person on Long Island that went to see Pluto Nash that day. And I take pride in that. It wasn't any worse than other things. There are other things that it was not great, but whatever. It's like one of the losingest movies of all time. Lost more money.
I thought Ishtar.
Ishtar is also one of them. I think Pluto Nash beat it when it came out, and before that was Cleopatra for many years.
Oh, really? I thought that was a blockbuster.
So I just have a couple of more questions.
Okay.
Sort of ubiquitous little things, but if you had one superpower, what would you have? If you could have a superpower.
The ability to get my kids to do what I want them to do the first time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Sort of like a dictator. You want the power of dictation.
Or just the power of oh, okay, Mom, you asked me to clean up after myself. I'll do it. You know what I mean? That's the superpower I think I need.
I like that. How is Pumpernickel?
She's great. We have to take her to the vet. She hasn't. I've been spoiling her. I feed her too much human food. But she, she's a bitch. She farted in my face earlier, so we're still.
Oh, you're pissed off. That's why. That's why she's not in the room now. It's hard to fix someone for that. takes time. Sometimes people never forgive someone for that.
No, she doesn't like my office either. I think it's just too much carpet. She'd rather just not.
Is that your office?
Yeah, this is part of it.
I like that. I like the way it looks. It looks very cabin.
It was a cedar closet that I converted into an office.
Is there anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
No, you can check out my backyard band of Pumpernickel on Instagram, Vox Celeste, and my soon-to-be-released podcast with my brother, the Gen Xer. No, he's a millennial. I'm a Gen Xer.
Right,
Baroness of Fletch.
The one that you were arguing with about the moon landing.
Yeah, I mean,
okay, that could be one of the most beloved podcasts of all time. That has potential. That has some.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for coming down today.
Thank you for having me.
Or coming up, whether you went upstairs or downstairs.
I came through.
Yeah.
I hope I came through.
Yeah, you came through. And look forward to talking again.